Hi, welcome back to yoga. So today I'm going to show you a new hand mudra before we get started for our third eye. So take the left hand, I know it appears to you as my right hand, and we're going to take the thumb, bring it in, fold it in, and then wrap the fingers around. So this is our left hand making a fist with our thumb tucked in. Our right hand, we're going to use the thumb up, tuck the fingers in like we did with our other hand. So this is the right hand. Except we're going to let the pinky be out and the thumb be up. Now take the pinky to that left index finger knuckle, touching the pinky tip to the index finger knuckle of the left hand. Allow it to wrap around and allow it to sit on top with the thumb sticking up. So this is the end result. I'll show it one more time. We have left hand here, thumb tucks in like number 4, fingers wrap around, straight up. Right hand, we're going to, again, take the fingers, curl them in, and thumb up, and this time pinky comes out. Pinky comes out to the index finger knuckle of the left hand. You set it on top, right thumb pokes up, so that it's around that finger. So we have pinky on index finger, fist stacked, thumb up, and we'll start with our seed mantra. So find a place, got your fingers, your hand mudra started here. This is for the third eye. So make sure that you're sitting or standing for this session, that the shoulders are rolled back. We're lengthening here. We have our hands, our hand mudra is going to move to our navel center. So down to the navel center, thumb is up. And just close the eyes for a moment and just have nice deep breaths as we get centered here for yoga. And you can start to bring the energy all the way up into the third eye. This is above and between the brows, also the pineal gland, between left and right brain, directly center. And when we're ready to do our seed mantra, the sound is Om for our third eye. We're going to keep the hand mudra at navel center. Let's start to inhale to Om. Inhale to Om. Inhale to Om. Inhale to Om. Last one. Inhale to Om. Take a moment where we still have this hand mudra, eyes can be shut, taking this energy inward, allowing it to clear the mind. ready, you can exhale start to open the hands. And as we open the hands, let's go ahead and spread through our fingertips. We're still sitting nice and tall, and we're going to rotate through the wrists. So keep the fingers spread. Arms can be out to the side. They could be slightly down. We're just rolling through the wrists. And then let's roll the opposite direction. Take a nice deep breath. Let's exhale and release the hands down by our sides. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale. As we exhale, let's look over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen arms up and over. Exhale, we're going to look over the opposite shoulder. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, opposite shoulder, just looking over the shoulder as the hands come down. Inhale, lengthen arms up and over. Exhale, over the opposite shoulder as they come slowly down. Let the breath move the body. Inhale, let's lengthen up. And let's start to bring the gaze up. Exhale, let's bring the chin into chest. Interlace the fingers and release them behind the head. Release the elbows forward. Keep the spine lengthened. So we're only bending through the neck here. Spine lengthened, heart lifted, abs tucked in, glutes firmly grounded into the floor. Inhale, let's open the elbows, open the heart, bring the gaze up. Expanding through the chest. Exhale, chin center, elbows forward, down. Inhale, opening and lengthening. Feeling that expansion breath as we inhale. Exhale, sinking breath. Inhale, expanding. And keep the expansion here in the elbows. Let's bring the gaze forward. While we have the body lengthened here, we're going to tilt here our elbow, our side. Keep the elbows open. Allow the chin to roll across the chest as we have the elbows open. Roll all the way to the other side. Elbows are still open, stacking, and then lift back up to center. Continuing in that same direction. Tilt to the side. Chin comes into chest. Rotate around. Lift back up on the opposite side, draw back to center. One more circle. Exhaling, elbow to the side, chin into chest, round through all the way to the other side. Inhale, start to open and lift back up. We're going to move the opposite direction. So exhale, elbow starts to tilt down, then release the chin down across the chest. Keeping elbows open all the way over to the other side, and inhale back to center. Exhale, elbow to the side. Roll the chin across the chest. Moving to the opposite side. Keep it open. Inhale. Let's come back to center. Last one. Exhale. Elbow down. Chin across the chest. Keep it open to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Let's exhale, release out. We're going to come down and do a little bit of ab work and opening up some more of the neck. So we're going to come into our boat pose as well as our tabletop and some modified bridges. So let's start here. We're going to exhale, roll down to our backs. And I'm going to get more in the picture here. Exhale, rolling down to our backs. Keep the knees bent, heels close to the glutes, hip width distance apart. And here, in fact, if you'd like to add to your workout, use a block, brick, or a ball here between the inner thighs. It keeps them also hip width distance apart, so squeeze those inner thighs, bring the palms face down, arms extended. Let's inhale for a modified bridge, lifting the hips. Let's exhale and bring it down. Inhale, modified bridge, lift the hips, Allow this to extend through the neck, so you shouldn't feel any pinching through the neck, and shoulders are open. Go ahead and exhale, bring it back down. We're going to add the arms. Let's inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms overhead, stretch overhead. And exhale, let the hips come down, arms come back down to the side. Inhale, lift the hips, arms overhead. Nice stretch. Exhale, bring it back down. Last one, inhale, open, arms up overhead, hips lift, and let's exhale, bring it all the way back down. This time, arms stay to the side, keep the brick squeeze, inhale, lift the hips. As we have the brick in between the legs, let's extend through one leg, point the toes. Keep the hips up, exhale, bring the leg back. Inhale, the opposite leg, point the toes. You're just extending from the knee. Exhale, bring it back down. Keep the hips lifted. Let's inhale, opposite leg, point the toes, extension, bring it down on an exhale. Inhale, point the toes, keep the hips up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, extend through the knee, bring it down, exhale. Inhale, extending, and exhale. As we're here in our modified bridge, let's inhale and lift the hips higher. Nice deep breaths here, filling the belly up as we inhale, and as we exhale, we're contracting to the core. So think navel to spine and everything contracting to that core. One more breath. And let's gently release all the way back down. Go ahead and remove the brick or ball. We're going to move to this side. And as we move to the side, press up through the palms of the hands. We want to come now into our boats. So remember, you can always do a modified boat. You can hang on to the legs. You can bring the arms back. If you bring the arms back, make sure the fingers point forward. You can soften the elbows. Make sure we have length in the back. The heart opens up here. The abs are tucked in, navel to spine. And then you can start to bring the legs up. If you want to, you can grab behind the legs. Starting to extend in our boat pose. Make sure that we're breathing here. Nice deep breaths. And let's exhale, bring it down. Bring the hands back. We're coming into tabletop. So hip width distance apart. Inhale, lift the glutes. You can bring the gaze up. Nice tabletop. Hips to knees. And exhale, bring it back down. If you want to add to this again, you could bring the block between the legs. Coming back into our boat. Let's have one deep breath. As we exhale, bring it down. Come back into tabletop. Inhale, lift the glutes. Exhale, let's bring it back down. Coming back into boat. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift into tabletop. Exhale, release. Back into boat. Inhale. Exhale, coming back into tabletop. And let's release down. You can remove the brick again. We're going to come to all fours. So on all fours, we want to get ready for cat-cow. Spread through the fingers. If you need any kind of extra cushion under the knees, grab it. Or you can make fists for wrists here. Drop the spine, roll the shoulders back, shine the heart forward with the face. Inhale, expanding cow. Exhale, we're going to contract, compressing cat. Inhale, expanding cow. Exhale, compressing cat. Inhale, expanding cow. Exhale, compressing cat. Inhale, expanding cow. And exhale, Exhale, compressing cat. Now here we do want to move into a little bit of hero's pose. So if you need a block, feel free to put a block right underneath the glutes. Try to allow the glutes to sit on the block. You may need 2 blocks or maybe some more cushion. Try to bring the legs slightly out. Not the legs. The knees stay hip width distance apart in front of us. The feet will open up so that we can actually see, so that the glutes are not stacked right above our heels. We want the glutes not stacked on the heels. You can also remove the brick if you're flexible enough and the knees are okay with that. You can sit all the way on the ground between the 2 heels. Let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen the arms up and over. And exhale, palms together, hands to heart. Inhale, let's open back up, lengthen overhead. And we're gonna exhale, bring one arm forward, twisting. Exhale, the other arm back, look back behind us. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, moving to the opposite side. Inhale, forward up. Exhale, twisting, looking back behind us. Inhale, forward up. Exhale, looking over our shoulder. Keep the spine lengthened, keep it with the breath. Inhale up and exhale over. Inhale, lengthen up. And let's exhale, release that. Coming all the way up, we want to come into camel. Let's go ahead and grab the block again or ball between the inner thighs, a couple inches above your knees. Squeeze a block. We have hip width distance apart. You can make fists for wrists. Press it into the low back. Tighten your glutes to protect the low back. Start to lift through the heart. Remember, if the neck doesn't allow, you can bring that gaze forward and still roll the shoulders back, still expand through the heart, still expanding through the chest. And you can also bring your head back. You can bring it back as far as you would like, as long as you have that hip knee right in alignment here. Make sure we're breathing in and out of the nose. And let's exhale, gently bring it up. We're gonna come all the way forward. So move the brick or block or ball over to the side. We're coming all the way into our child's pose. So today for our child's pose, glutes to heels, knees point forward. Let's stack fists and bring the forehead, third eye right down on top of our fists. Just taking a moment to get centered back into the third eye. One more breath here. Let's start to expand through the arms, stretching forward. We want to come all the way into our downward facing dog. So start to bring it up, tuck the toes, hip width distance apart, glutes come up, and flatten through the back as the head comes between the arms. Let's bicycle the legs for a moment. So allowing the heel to drop towards the floor and bending one knee at a time as we bicycle the legs. And let's go ahead and release heels down. Let's inhale, bring up a leg, stretch through that heel, lengthening. Exhale, we're gonna bend that knee and draw it forward. Grab a hold of your belt if you have it close by. Right here, we're gonna step the back foot just slightly forward and out to the side as we lengthen, and that other knee that is in front of us lengthens right above the ankle. Toes point forward, hips point forward, getting ready for our warrior one. As we get ready for warrior one, if you have a belt, rope, or a towel that you can use, draw it up as we inhale, and as we exhale, back and over. And remember, those arms are lengthened, no bending at the elbow. So if you need to extend through your rope or towel, then just make sure you have enough to extend so that you can open. We're going to keep the heart open here. Tuck those abs in. Let's exhale, move forward. As we move forward down into our humble warrior, let's lift the arms slightly up off the back. breaths here in Humble Warrior. One more breath. And let's exhale, start to lift back up. Arms are still back behind us. Let's inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, we're gonna move into Warrior Two from here. And we're gonna do revolving Warrior Two. So instead of opening out to the side, we're gonna open towards the leg that is bent. So open twist to the leg that is bent. And then when it comes to the arms, let's start to extend slowly. Still have hands on belt. And now our arms in that T position. And this time, instead of looking forward, we're gonna look behind us. So it's our revolving Warrior Two. Nice deep breaths here. We have 2 more breaths. And let's exhale. Releasing that, we're gonna step that back leg forward. Hip width distance apart. You can move the belt to the side for now. Let's inhale, lengthen all the way up and over. Exhale, swan dive to the floor. Inhale, let's move into monkey. Flatten through the back, bring the gaze forward, heart shines forward. Exhale, forward fold. You can wrap the legs behind, or the hands behind the legs. Let's bring our hands back down to the ground, and we're gonna step our feet back into our downward facing dog. And we're just taking a few deep breaths here, getting ready for the opposite leg. Let's go ahead and inhale. We're gonna lift that opposite leg, heel lifts up. And let's exhale, bend that knee and draw forward. Remember the leg that's behind us, we're gonna slightly bring it forward. Leave that leg straight, the front leg, knee bends, grab a hold of your belt. And as we grab a hold of the belt, we set up for Warrior One here. So let's have the belt come in front actually first. Knee bends, make sure that we have that knee ankle alignment. Toes point forward, hips point forward. Inhale, lengthen the arms up and over. And let's exhale without bending the elbows, draw it back. Keep the heart lifted, abs tucked in. Let's hinge at the hips and draw forward. As we're in Humble Warrior now, you can lift the arms up off the back. So they're engaging here. 2 more deep breaths through the nose. Start to hinge back up. Remember, we have that flat back. We're going to draw the arms up and over. So we're coming into our revolving Warrior Two. So instead of opening up for Warrior, which is to the inside of the legs, I'm going to open up to the outside leg, the bent knee, twisting at the waist. Then I'm going to extend through my arms, and I'm going to look to the arm behind me, keeping balance here. Let's go ahead and come back to center. Let's remove the belt again to the side. We're going to step that back foot forward, coming back up to hip width distance apart. Let's inhale, lengthen up and over. Exhale, swan dive to the floor, hinge at the hips, keep the tight core, flat back. Inhale, monkey pose. Remember, knees are soft. Exhale, let's bring our hands down, step it back for downward facing dog. As we're in our downward facing dog here, let's inhale into our plank pose. Remember, you could always move into a plank that has our forearms or our knees. From there, let's move into side plank. So as we move into side plank, if you're ready for the full plank, side plank is to the side and just lifting the arm. If you're not ready, let's bend the knees. If this also doesn't work for you and it hurts the wrist, forearm bends. So you can be on knees and forearm here, still lifting hips up off the floor. Let's move back to center plank. And we're gonna switch it to the other side. Remember, if you're in the regular plank, you could just allow the heels to move to the side, lengthen through the body, arm comes up, stacking. If that doesn't work, bring it to the knees, same thing, or bring it down to the forearm and knees. You can check whichever one is best for you. Let's bring it back to plank. So here we are in plank pose. We're gonna come through our crocodile, bend the elbows in, heart comes forward. Let's release all the way down. We wanna come into our baby cobra. So baby cobra here. Arms can be wide. Shoulders roll back. We're squeezing those scapulas together. Elbows come into the rib cage. Let's rest the forehead for a moment. On an inhale, we're coming back up. Lift through the crown of the head. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the scapulas. Even lift the palms of the hands. Remember, we're still breathing in and out of the nose. And let's exhale, release. We're gonna press back up to our partial plank. Let's send it all the way back into wide-legged extended child's pose. So glutes to heels, knees open to the side, and release all the way down towards the floor. Start to bring it back up. Knees come back together. And in fact, let's bring back our block or ball. Set it between the legs again into the inner thighs, right above our knees. And let's come to all fours here. Let's go ahead and extend through the arms and bring it into our downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting. Nope. Exhale, let's bring it back down to the knees. Let's extend through the body so we have our partial kneeling plank here. Make sure the shoulders and wrists are aligned. And as we inhale, we have that nice flat back. We have that alignment with our shoulders, our wrists. We're going to exhale, draw the elbows into the rib cage, only part way down, and then press back up. Exhale, bend the elbows, flatten the back, and inhale back up. One more time. Exhale, bend at the elbows, and draw back up. Let's move back. We're going to remove the block and move into our extended child's pose. Inhale, lift the head. Let's walk our hands extending to one side. Let's go ahead and walk the hands all the way through center. We want to walk over to the opposite side, extending. And bring it back. Walk the hands forward enough. We want to come back into our downward facing dog. And let's walk the toes or the feet to our hands. As we come to our hands, let's move into our monkey pose. Inhale and exhale, forward fold. Then let's bring the hands down to the ground. Remember, the weight's going to be in the feet. We're going to come into our standing splits. So watch out behind you so you don't hit anything. You could use knuckles here as well, if not fingertips. Or remember, you always have blocks if you need blocks. So let's start to extend with one leg. Remember, hips stay side by side. We're lifting through that heel directly up and behind us. You could bring the forehead or the nose towards the opposite leg. And let's exhale, soften open that leg, bring it back into alignment underneath the hips. Let's inhale, coming into our monkey pose. Exhale, we're gonna move it into chair pose. Choice to extend through the arms from the shoulders, or bent elbows, palms face you, or prayer hands. Nice deep breaths. Remember, hinging at the knees, hinging at the hips, flatten through the back. You can see your toes, they're not surpassing. Go ahead and release our chair. Let's inhale, lengthen up and over. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive down. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, bring it back down. You can make knuckles. Remember, the leg stays soft. We're going to move to the opposite leg for our standing splits. Start to move the energy or the weight to that side. Lift through the opposite heel, lifting up. You can always bring forehead or nose towards the other knee. And let's exhale slowly to release. Hip width distance apart. Inhale, monkey. Keep the knees micro bent, flat back. Exhale, moving into chair pose. Remember, you have options with your arms. Just lengthen through the back. Nice flat back. Hinge at the hips, hinge at the knees, toes point forward, hip width distance apart. And let's go ahead and release that. We're going to inhale up and over. And exhale. We want to come out to our lateral flexion. You can use bricks again. We are going to come into a straddle pose here in center. So let's start to already open up for our straddle, getting ready. Doesn't have to be very wide. Toes point forward. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. Let's inhale, lengthen through the arms. And exhale, bring the hands back behind us. Remember, you can use a belt or towel if you can't reach the fingers, and interlace. Interlace the hands or grabbing a towel or belt. Roll the shoulders back, lift through the heart, lift the gaze. Nice deep breaths here. Remember, the knees are not locked out. We have them semi-soft, so they're always a little bit soft here. We're going to exhale now. Hinge at the hips. Let the back be flat. Let the heart lead. Hands are still interlaced behind us or with a belt. As we release the head down, let's lift the arms up off the back. Nice deep breaths here, in and out of the nose. And let's exhale. We're going to release the hands. If you need a brick or block to help you lengthen through the back, then you can bring a hand on a block. We are centering one hand in center, spread through the fingertips, and opening windmill at the opposite hand. Let's exhale. We're going to switch hands. Coming back to center. Once again, you can use a block. It helps to lift and lengthen through our spine to use a block. Spreading through the fingers again. Let's inhale, open the opposite. And let's exhale. As we exhale, we're going to walk our hands. Remember, knees are still soft. We're walking our hands to one foot. Try to have nice deep breaths, stretching to that side. And let's walk all the way over to the opposite side. let's move back to center. As we move back to center, coming back to the hands, try to roll the shoulders back. Most of the weight is inside the legs. If you need to open up more, that's fine. Trying to flatten the back, hands underneath the shoulders or fists. Lengthen through the back. And as we exhale, we're going to start to release the head, bend the elbows. As we inhale, let's lengthen back into that flat back. Exhale, we're going to bend the elbows, release the head. Inhale, lengthen back up to center, flat back. Exhale, release the head back to center, bending at the elbows. And inhale, lengthen back up. As we lengthen, let's start to heel toe until we come about a little greater than shoulder width distance apart. Let's point our toes out to the side. We're setting up for sun and moonflowers. Hinge at the knees, ankle alignment with the knees. Let's go ahead and sit it back. So our glutes are sitting back. We have a lengthened spine. We're hinging at our knees. At the hips, you can have hands on knees for a moment. Let's bring it all the way out into our sun pose. Palms face up, arms extend out to the side. Nice deep breaths here. One more breath in our sun pose. Let's go ahead and lengthen through the legs, the torso, bring it all the way together, palms touch, cross the thumbs. Keep the feet grounded here. We're going to exhale, lateral flexion to one side, hinging from our waist, lengthening through the arms. Let's inhale, lengthen back up. Keep the hips grounded with the feet. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinging. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinging. Inhale, center. Exhale, lateral flexion. Inhale, center. Last one. Exhale, lateral flexion. Inhale, center. And exhale, bringing the palms back, center, heart. Let's gently walk the feet back into hip width distance apart. We're going to come back towards the back part of your mat. Let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen arms up and over. And exhale, bring it all the way back down into forward fold. So swan dive into forward fold. And then let's bring the hands to the ground, walk it out into our downward facing dog. Let's move into our plank pose. And back into our downward facing dog. Inhale, moving into plank. So if this doesn't work for you to move from plank, inhaling, and the exhale, we move into our downward facing dog. You're always welcome to bring it to the knees. And inhale forward to partial plank and exhale back into extended child's pose. And if that doesn't work for you, bring it down to the forearms. You can still come into plank on the forearms here. And you can still walk your way back into extended child's pose. Let's go ahead and move back forward into a version of plank. And then we're going to move into our downward facing dog. And let's walk our feet, toes back to our hands. Inhale, let's move into our monkey pose. Exhale, coming into forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, open the arms, strong glutes, ground through the feet, root up, all the way up through. And exhale, palms together, hands to heart. Today we're coming into our balancing pose as third warrior. So pick a side. You can keep hands at heart. You can extend through the arms or you can bring them to your side, whichever is best for you. Roll the shoulders back, keep the knees soft, bring the weight to one side, draw the toes of the opposite side back, heel lifts up. You can always even stop there, wherever you find your balance challenge today. If it's at capital T, remember to dorsiflex the foot so that the heel is the longest point. If you want to add airplane arms to this, palms face down, extend through the arms. Nice deep breaths in our balance. And let's exhale. Slowly release that back down. Hip width distance apart. Inhale, lengthen up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, chair. Keep it in chair for another breath. And let's go ahead and start to lengthen back up and over. Inhale. You can stretch and look up if you would like, adding a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, palms together, hands to heart. Switching to our other side for a third warrior. Remember, you have option with the arms. They can extend. They could be at heart. They could be at airplane. Take a nice deep breath. Soften the knees. Switching to the opposite side. Exhaling. Remember, toes come back. We're trying to keep that long length from heel to crown. So wherever your balance challenge has you today. Remember to dorsiflex the foot that is extended. Hips stay side by side, not stacking on one another. And if you'd like, you can bring those airplane arms, palms face down, arms extend back through the fingertips. Let's exhale, slowly coming back to hip width distance apart. Inhale, lengthen up and over. You could choose to add a little bit of a back bend there. Let's exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Soften the knees. Let's bring our hands down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Moving into your version of plank. Let's take an extra breath here. And release the knees. We're coming all the way back into a child's pose of your choice, whether it be regular child's pose, extended, or wide-legged. After you've had a few breaths there, we're going to come all the way to our backs. Remember, we're getting ready for Shavasana. We're going to do a few little twists here. So make sure you have plenty of room to twist through the hips, the waist. Let's go ahead and come back to our backs. As we come back to our back here, we're going to open the arms, palms face upward. Tighten that core. Exhale, press the back into the floor here. As we press the back into the floor, tight abs, lift the legs. Knees and hips are aligned. And then we're going to release the legs to one side, twisting at the hips and waist. Keep the shoulders open and grounded. You can even look over the opposite shoulder. You also have an option of taking that hand and pressing on the upper leg down towards the floor, opening the low back even more. let's release that. Tighten those abs, knees towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. Bring the forehead towards the knees. Gently rock left and right for a moment. Now let's extend back out to our tabletop. Arms are open. This time exhaling to our opposite side. Remember, the shoulders stay grounded, arms stay open, hips and waist move, legs move. You can take that opposite arm. This is just an option. Hand on top of that top leg and pressing down towards the ground and looking over our opposite shoulder is also an option. And as we start to release again, tighten those abs, knees towards the chest. Give yourself a hug here. Rock on the back, whether it's up and down, side to side, or maybe in circles. Whatever feels good while you're here on the floor before we come all the way into our dead corpse pose. So when you're ready, after you've rolled around a little bit here on the back, come to a still point. Release the legs. Remember that we're getting comfortable. If you need a pillow or towel rolled up underneath the neck to help you, go ahead. Maybe some stabilizers for our knees. Start to open the arms, palms face up. Start to close the eyes. Legs can be open, relaxed, feet are open. And let's move back into our breath, focusing the breath into the third eye. Each breath expanding and clearing the mind. And today we're going to come into a silent mantra, which just means you're repeating the words over and over in your mind instead of out loud. So each breath, it is so hum. So maybe the inhale is so, and the exhale is hum. This will help remind you the words and the breath, focusing on breath and words, so hum. Starting to release our silent mantra. nice big deep breaths here for a moment, in and out of the nose. Not only clearing the mind, but clearing the body. So take a moment as we expand on the inhales, feeling it all the way through the body, feeling the expansion that inhale brought as it moves through the entire torso, through the legs, through the arms, the toes, the fingers, and the head. As we exhale, drawing that energy back in. As we inhale, we're expanding our energy out. All the way through the body, even a little bit beyond the body. And the exhale, we contract the energy back inward to our core. Each breath like this, inhale, expanding. And the exhales, we draw it back into our core, navel center, just a little bit below the navel, into our low dantian. And then let's bring one hand over our low dantian and our other hand over our mid dantian, which is heart center. Nice deep breaths here as we connect low and mid dantian. Releasing both hands as we bring one hand to our third eye center above and between the brows. And we're just either tapping lightly at the third eye or we're making circular motion here. The opposite palm can be face up. Take a moment to have stillness with the finger directly at the third eye. And imagine that long line of energy moving all the way to the pineal gland. Center of the mind between left and right brain, shaped like a pine cone. Imagine connecting the third eye to the pineal gland with every breath. Gently release here. Take a couple of deep breaths as we start to center and reawaken. Feeling rejuvenated, starting to bring movement back to our limbs. Let's stretch overhead for a moment, contract the body, the glutes, maybe even lifting slightly up off the floor as we contract. Then slowly release. We're going to move to our left side in fetal position. And as you come to our fetal position, you can bring the knees in towards the chest. Taking nice deep breaths here, still connected, body and breath. Let's press through the palms of the hands. Bringing it all the way back up. Thank you for joining me for yoga today. Namaste. Namaste.